Welcome. Let's start sitting comfortably on our mat, sitting up nice and tall. We'll just take a moment to arrive on the mat for our spring equinox class, getting back to balance, equal day and equal night, feeling a little hopeful for the season ahead as we leave winter behind. And the card I pulled today was kind of fitting. It's trusting in life, which to me, that's what spring is all about. Trusting in life, trusting that everything will work out as it's supposed to, just like that little tiny seed that grows into a beautiful, lush plant. So just knowing that everything will be good. So just sitting up tall, let's take a moment, closing our eyes, checking in to see how all parts of you are feeling tonight. Maybe taking a nice full breath in through the nose and out through the mouth, letting any responsibility or heaviness go from your shoulders. As you sink in a little bit deeper into the mat, sinking in a little bit deeper into the earth. And breathing in and out through the nose if that works for you tonight. Maybe getting that lovely hollow sound in the back of your throat. All that ujjayi breath. Slight constriction of the throat helps to bring us back to balance. While we're here, focusing on the breath, let's count the inhale and count the exhale. See if we can get the inhale to the equal length of the exhale. Balancing out the breath. If you're inhaling to 4 or 5, see if you can exhale to 4 or 5. If your exhale is a little bit longer, then just leave it the way it is. Let's flutter our eyes open. We'll drop chin to chest, just letting the back of the neck stretch out. And let's just do a few circles with the nose before we settle into our first yin pose tonight. Working through any kinks, any tightness. And then we'll go in the other direction, nice and slow. Good. Let's come back to center. We're going to stretch the legs all the way out. Just give them a little wiggle. Maybe taking your bolster or your block or whatever prop you have nearby. We're going to come into a half butterfly pose. So bring your right foot in. You're going to lay that bolster down either in between your legs or on top of that left leg. Maybe stacking your fists, or maybe even taking that block if you have one. And just stacking everything up, finding what works for you. We're going to settle into this shape. And it's all about getting grounded. So feeling your sits bones on the mat, feeling yourself rooting into the earth. Coming to the breath, being aware of the quality of your breath. Making sure you're still having equal breath in and equal breath out. If that right knee needs a little support, you're welcome to put a blanket under it. And once you've settled, we'll just hang out here. Letting all parts of you soften into this shape. Letting it go. Letting the shoulders relax a little bit more. And as we hang out in this shape, you may be feeling this in the hamstrings and the left leg. So hamstrings is where we hold our control. So just imagine that control, releasing out that left heel, letting it go. We'll take 5 more breaths in this shape. And let's slowly ease our way back up. Removing any props. We'll bring that right leg up. And let's stretch it out. Taking a moment, letting that energy flow down both legs. Checking in to see how you're feeling. And let's get ready to do the other side. So left leg comes in, propping that left knee up if you need to. And getting your props ready so that you can fold forward into our half butterfly. And when you're ready, just sinking down, melting down. Maybe this side is a little tighter, maybe you need a few more props. Just listening to what it is that your body is asking for. And then once you get there, just surrendering into the shape. Following the flow of your breath. Coming to that place of peace and inner balance. Coming to that place of trust. We'll take 5 more breaths here. And we'll slowly make our way back up. Let's move our props out of the way, stretching that left leg out, feeling that energy flowing down to your toes. Feeling a little calmer, a little more inner peace. We're going to take the right leg and bring it to the short edge of your mat, and the left leg, the shin, to the long edge of your mat. So we're making like a little zigzag with our legs. So right shin, short edge, left shin, long edge. See if you can draw that right hip down towards the floor. So we're coming in what we call a deer pose. Deers are out and about at this time of year. The white tails running by. I saw 5 of them the other day. So just letting that right hip get heavy. Making sure both sits bones are making some sort of contact with the floor. If you need to make any adjustments, if the knees aren't quite feeling great here, you can adjust accordingly. Maybe closing your eyes. Finding your space between the thoughts. When you slow down your breath and slow down your thoughts, finding that space between. Noticing any shifts in your body, releasing or letting go. Remember, with yin, we're getting into the ligaments, tissues. You may feel some releasing. Before we go to the other side, let's take our right hand to the left knee and bring the left hand behind us. See if we can gently just open into a twist here. Looking over the left shoulder. Still sitting up nice and tall. Bringing out and letting go of what no longer serves you. Then we'll make our way back to center. Bring your hands behind you. Let's release those legs, sending them back out in front. Make sure everything feels okay. And then we'll get ready to do the other side. So left shin is parallel to the long edge of the mat, or maybe it's the short edge, depending on how you're sitting. And then the right shin is parallel to the opposite edge. So see how this side feels, making any adjustments for your knees, making sure that left hip can sink down. You may find this to be a little tight. So just see if you can soften into it. Yin is great for preparing us for those awkward situations in life where we have to ease into it with grace. So sending your breath into any areas that are feeling a little crunchy, areas that are talking to you. Just make sure there's no sharp pain anywhere. Close your eyes. Just bringing your awareness to your breath. Breathing fully and deeply. And with each exhale, just allowing that left hip to soften a little bit more, getting a little closer to the floor. Scanning your body and see if there's any areas you can soften. Maybe it's your jawline. Maybe it's your shoulders. Relax. And before we come out of this shape, let's take the left hand to the right knee, right hand behind. Sitting up nice and tall, looking over your right shoulder. And then coming back to center. Let's take those legs back out and move them any way that you feel appropriate for you. We're going to come into our next shape, which is child's pose. So you're welcome to use your bolster in between your knees. I always find it's nice to have just a little bit of extra height as you sink down, hugging the bolster. You can lay it cheek, whichever one, onto your prop. If you want, you can even come into it without a prop, your choice. And once you get here, see if you can get those hips to be a little heavier, sinking in a little deeper. I always like to imagine like a little seed being planted into the earth. So just melting into soft earth. Seed of potential and opportunity. Trusting that life has your back. If you have one cheek on your prop, you might want to switch sides just to balance out the neck. then we'll come back to center. Let's ease our way back up onto our hands and knees. Just do a few cat cows. So it's nice to just get the spine moving back and forth, working out any kinks. And then we'll come back to center. We're going to come into pigeon pose. If the knees aren't really feeling great tonight, you can always come onto your back and do figure four. So pigeon pose or swan pose, as we call it in yin, we're going to take right knee to the right wrist, sliding that left leg back, and just rocking from side to side, finding that balance, and then settling into balance, having hips parallel to the floor. Making sure the knee feels okay. If it is a little cranky, you might want to bring your foot underneath the hip a little more. Sometimes that eases any tension you might be feeling in that right knee. If you need a little assistance under the right hip, feel free to place a block there. Sometimes that feels good, just to support that hip. And then we'll lay all the way down onto the mat into a sleeping swan. Stack your fists or put one of your props underneath your forehead. And wherever you're at, just softening the shoulders. As you exhale, sinking in a little bit deeper. Sending some love into your beautiful hips as they keep us moving forward through the seasons. Keep us doing all of those things that are vibrant, keep us filled with joy. Sending some love and appreciation into that right hip. We'll take 5 more breaths here. And we'll ease our way back up. Send that right leg all the way out. You can stretch it out, maybe pointing and flexing your foot, feeling how good it feels to get that circulation flowing through that right leg. Let's do a few more cat cows before we do the other side. Moving with your breath. Good. And then when you're ready, we'll slide the left knee to the left wrist, inching that right leg back. See how this side feels. Again, if it's not feeling great for your knee, lie on your back, come into figure four, pulling that right knee into your chest. Just hang out here for a moment, rocking from side to side. Coming into stillness, finding some balance in your hips. We'll put this graceful, beautiful swan to sleep. Laying down, stacking up whatever props you need. And letting go. Maybe breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Releasing any stuck energy, any stuck emotions. And then we'll send some loving thoughts into your left hip. Gratitude and love and appreciation for all that your hip does. Keeping you moving forward. Take 5 more breaths here. And then slowly bringing yourself back up, undoing that left leg, maybe stretching it out or bringing it on the floor, just bringing that circulation back. Ah, flexing and pointing. And let's come all the way down onto the mat, onto our bellies. And we're going to come into our little Sphinx pose. So bringing your elbows underneath your shoulders, making sure the back feels okay. We've done some forward folding. So this will be a nice balance for that half butterfly we did earlier, just to get the spine moving in other directions. So imagining string of pearls from the top of your head all the way down to your tailbone. Make sure there's no sharp pain in your back. If there is, maybe take your elbows out a little bit. Don't come up quite so high. always listening to what is right for you. Making sure that your bum stays soft, legs are heavy and loose. Coming to your breath. Breathe all the way down to your pubic bone. That expansion, inhalation. Activating our power center. Something to give us a little more energy for the spring season. Scanning your body, see if there's any areas you can soften a little bit more. Take 5 more breaths here. And then just taking your elbows out, we'll bring our hands underneath the shoulders, coming back into table. And let's just do a few cat-cows here, back and forth, relieving any pressure. And then we're going to lay all the way down onto the mat. Bring your knees into your chest. Maybe rocking from side to side. Bring that back, a nice massage. And we'll come into a spinal twist. So let's take our arms out, bringing the feet on the floor, sliding the hips over to the right. Let's bring the knees down to the left. Head can stay looking up or over to the right, your choice. Making sure you can breathe freely and easily here. Allowing your back to unlock. Being patient with yourself. Just following the flow of your breath. Notice with each exhale how the back gets a little softer, a little less crunchy. If you're experiencing any pins and needles in your hands, make sure you adjust. Bring your arms into cactus shape. That feels better. While you're here, just letting go, trusting, trusting that life has got you. Let's take 5 more breaths on this side. And we'll slowly make our way back to center, squaring off your hips, bringing those knees back in for a little hug, little self-love here. We'll come back, feet on the floor. We'll do the other side, arms outstretched, sliding the hips a little bit to the left and letting your knees come down to the right. See how this side feels, making any adjustments so the shoulders can stay resting. And just let it go. Bringing your nervous system back to balance. Following the flow of your breath. Going to that inner peace, inner balance. Trusting that everything is as it should be. And 5 more breaths here. And let's come back to center, squaring your hips, and we'll bring a hand on each knee. Just giving those knees a little circle. See how that feels. Maybe taking them in the other direction. And if you have some socks or sweaters or blankets you want to use, or place your bolster underneath your knees, go right ahead. We're going to stretch the legs out, coming into our final shape, corpse pose. Corpse pose is an opportunity for rebirth. Once you settle here, closing your eyes, allowing all muscles to soften. If your back is a little tender, you can bend your knees, bring your knees into each other. Wherever feels good for you. Bringing your awareness back to your breath. Maybe counting the length of your inhale and the length of your exhale. And this time, let's see if we can get the exhale to be twice as long as the inhale. So if you're inhaling to the count of 4 or 5, see if you can slowly and gradually exhale to the count of 8 or 10. Not forcing, just allowing. Feeling calm, peace, and balanced. Back to our card, trusting in life. During this spring equinox, I will trust that the events occurring in my life are not random. My experiences aren't mistakes, and the universe, my higher power, and the life I'm leading are not picking on me. I'm going through exactly what I need to go through to learn something valuable, something that will prepare me for the joy and love I'm seeking. Trusting in life. And you're welcome to stay exactly where you're at. Or if you have other things you need to get to tonight, you can slowly make your way back up to a comfortable seated position. Seal our practice tonight, bringing the left hand on our heart and right hand on top. Take a nice full breath in through the nose and out through the mouth, breathing in and out.